So the first thing that I noticed where I knew I was on the right track is, look, on this flat boulder are 4 mortars. So this is where acorns and seeds would be ground, and they're quite deep, filled with some rainwater, so you can see my fingers in there. So this is a nice flat rock where many people could sit and prepare food. But here's where I knew I was at the right spot. So panning back. And this is what I've seen photographs of. And I'll de-stretch the photos for you so you can see it better. But the red diamond chain, which is interesting that it's on these 2 stained marks of the rock, which is where when it rains the water comes down. So the pictographs are very faded because they're getting eroded by this rain. But that is probably an indication of a favorable place. Like, they put the pictographs right on that spot. So the connection of this being a protection spirit, the rattlesnake, for the young girls who had their coming of age ceremonies here. So there is a seasonal creek that's down here in the ravine, and there's many more rock formations, and I do know that there are other pictographs near here, but with the creek being high, I don't have the right footwear to get across that creek in this spot and keep exploring. So So the goal of this channel and my shamanic explorations is to bring insight and awareness. There are so many places that we can easily access, but these places are at risk because people will come and vandalize them. So I don't give any specific directions of where I travel, but I'm just so grateful to have found this spot and share it with you today. For more information on the Cahuilla initiation ceremony, I'll put a link to my video, the Cahuilla Pictograph site. I'm back in Mockingbird Canyon, and I'm gonna see if I can find this pictograph site that I've seen pictures of on the internet that's really quite outstanding. So I'm gonna give an offering to the spirits of the land and announce myself and my intention, and we'll see if we can find it. So I had to cross this little stream, and now I'm gonna continue on up this equestrian trail. So over here is where I crossed the creek, and now I walked around this big boulder outcrop outcrop, and there's a lot of graffiti, modern graffiti on these boulders. And there's a pathway that goes along there, and then there's this fence, and here's another outcropping of boulders. And look at this. There's a cave in there. So I'm gonna see if there's a way to get around this fence so that I can take a closer look, because that's gotta be where it is. So I wanna get in there, but it's locked up and park boundary. But just looking at the landscape, I find it very interesting that this was probably a shaman's cave, because there was a spring coming out here. When I look around in all the other directions, everything's dry. There's no spring continuing through this landscape. Let me see if I can turn this around. So where all those green trees is where we cross that little stream, but if you just look, it's just completely dry. No water coming through here. So this would have been a very important and sacred place. So we're back at the site that we can get to with the diamond chain on this boulder behind us right here. It's very light. You'll see in other places in the video. So I'm gonna give it one more try to see if there is a way to access that cave, which is just right over here. But if you take a look, the brush is just so thick, and I'm just not prepared to bushwhack like that. And if it's all fenced off, obviously it's just unfortunate that people have been unconscious here and defaced art that is priceless and irreplaceable. So, you know, officials have to protect these sites. So I'll grab some images off the internet, and so we can at least see what's inside there. And I guess this is just a lesson to tell us to, you know, be careful with these places. Not only to keep them secret, but to educate people about them. And I feel that's part of my purpose in this channel, to bring the wonder of discovery and to really just appreciate that these places are still here. But it seems that for now, this one is lost to us. So lucky for those who got to see it and take photographs before it was all chained up. So do better, people. But I bet if you're a, you know, tagger, you're not watching this. So just, you know, grow up, have respect. This place is sacred to the native peoples of this land. And, you know, we've got to take care of it. There are not that many. So I feel that it might be something about power. People who feel powerless, that they need to come and make their mark and deface someplace beautiful in nature. So, you know, there's definitely a wound there, and the graffiti is unconscious way of acting out. But I find it interesting that they come to these sacred sites where there are beautiful pictographs, and the shaman that made these marks did it because they felt this was a place of power. So we see that there's a spring coming out here, so we can put two and two together and recognize that where there's water, there's life. So when the mother was giving through a spring, that was a place where people could live. So the shaman found a shelter right next to it. So this place was on their map. So just by thinking, getting into the mindset by coming to these places, we can maybe unravel some of these mysteries, but certainly continue to wonder. And I brought my medicine bag here, that if I was to be able to find that, with my offering that I give, I ask for whatever can come from this site into my medicine, open channel. So as I have now given my offering to the land, it's like I'm saying, I was here. I understand. I'm connected to this place. I'm a friend of these people. So it's almost like dropping a pin in a place of time and where the ancients once walked. Let's be careful with these places. They're under extreme pressure from all of the encroaching communities and just the density of humans. There was a fire since I was last here a couple of months ago. So all you need to do is just have a prayer that these places are safe and protected, and go find some for yourself. Experience, even when it's disappointing and you can't get what you thought you would, there's still great gifts to be had. So thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to our next adventure.